Alright, you guys. Man, in this here video, we will be checking out. That's a sorry eye intro, guy. Hey, man. Have you ever wondered what it's like to live a life as a Viltrumite? Well, I haven't. I don't watch Invincible. So I'll be watching this video that we'll be taking a look at today as a Invincible watcher. So that means my opinion is extremely valid. Let's actually get right into it, shall we?
Open your eyes for the very first time, and here we are. You've just been born a full...
Already, I'm living a great existence, based off how the Japanese people have, talked about black people. I already am a Viltrumite. My life is fine. I'm living a great life. Nothing seems to bother me too much these days. And plus, look at me. I'm doing alright. All I'm missing is a thick mustache, aren't I?
Full-blooded Viltrumite on the planet Viltrum. Congratulations! Several tall figures dressed in battle armor check your vital signs in the monitors as they decide your fate. Yep, he's strong, says the doctor. Or maybe he's just a regular guy with a stethoscope. Who knows? You're a baby. It's hard for you to tell. Your parents, who are also still in their uniforms, breathe a sigh of relief. You see, the Viltrumites have a strong policy about childbirth, which means that only the strong children are allowed to survive. The rest are, well, tough.
Sounds like black people in the American slave trade. On those boats, the only ones that really made it over here are the ones who are physically capable to, make that excursion across the water from Africa to America. So, I feel like, in a way, I've already lived this kind of existence. And like I said, I'm doing pretty good.
Don't worry about the rest. This means that you get to go home to your parents, but Viltrumite babies don't really get to watch Cocomelon with their stuffed animals. Instead, they place you in a gravity chamber 4 times the strength of Earth, where every muscle in your tiny body is forced to adapt.
I didn't go through that. I didn't have to, endure the gravity chamber, So I guess this is, didn't go through this. This was probably excruciating, very painful. I wouldn't like this very much.
Intense pressure. Your cries echo off steel walls as you try to lift your head, but no one comes to comfort you. On Viltrum,
slavery comes close, though. Was I a slave? No. But I am descendant of them, so.
Weakness will never be rewarded, even as a baby. Now that you've made it to 2 years old, you're already showing signs of the power within you. The average fully grown Viltrumite can lift at least 400 tons, but as a toddler, you're not quite there yet.
I can do that.
Quote-unquote toys are really just heavy-weighted blocks, and you're doing pretty well with them. You've also started showing signs of levitation already, which means your fight training begins immediately. Your parents watch your progress like hawks and carefully measure each metric to make sure you don't fall behind. They don't help you up if you stumble. Instead, they watch from a distance with their arms...
Going through the educational school system, the educational system. Yeah, your parents don't intervene to give you any kind of help if you're black, or maybe it was just mine, but, they didn't get much help with schoolwork, so, I lived this experience as well, in an academic, mental, capable level, yeah, not necessarily on a physical level.
As you struggle to get back onto your feet, a true Viltrumite stands on their own, always. Thanks, Dad. Everyone in this species are raised as warriors from birth.
Sounds like my dad.
Have no comprehension of what genuine parental love is like. Now at 5 years old, you seem to be holding up well so far, so it's time for you to be thrown into the Juvenile Combat Initiative. It's full of other kids your age, but this isn't a playground. It's a battlefield for children. Basically, just a toddler fight club. On your first day, you're matched against a boy named Laro, who's a little older than you and twice your size. There's only one way to win these matches: incapacitate your opponent. Good luck out there, kid. As the match begins, Laro charges at you and knocks you off your feet. Those extra years of conditioning have given him an advantage in strength, but around these parts...
This is crazy, but this is exactly how I felt, on the basketball court, as a middle schooler / elementary school child, You know, only the best of the best was really putting hands on the ball. It was getting past the rock. You know, I was never like first pick to be on anyone's squad during a pickup game. You know, I was never the first pick. You know, I wasn't necessarily the last. Not every time. But, you know, this is something I feel like I also have experience with, you know. I really feel like, you know, the black experience is being a Viltrumite, you know, especially according to the Japanese.
So there's no excuse. Get up. One of your instructors growls. You pull yourself up again and drive your tiny fist into Laro's jaw. When he stumbles backwards, you take the opportunity to knock him to the ground. The crowd of children and parents erupts into applause. At 5 years old, you've earned their respects. For now, the Viltrumites believe that they're the most superior being in the universe, destined to rule over everyone else. So every part of this society exists to breed the perfect soldiers to feed this galactic takeover. Your first day of school on Viltrum is pretty straightforward. Every subject ties back to the Empire's ideals. History class only exists to glorify past conquests. Science focuses on weapons.
Mine was the opposite. American school doesn't do that. We don't learn our history. So this could have been beneficial for black people, you know?
And even mathematics is taught through the perspective.
Are Viltrumites good people? Like I said, I don't watch Invincibles. I don't know. For all I know, they're probably, you know, great people. You know, they could be poor people, bad people. You know, who knows? They could be villains, but, you know. I don't get that impression for these people, you know what I'm saying? I feel like these kinfolk, they're really black people. They're really a metaphor for black people.
Of warfare logistics.
From where I'm standing.
Your PE class is really just combat training with a side of cardio, and every failure is punished. You better be perfect, kid, or you're not going to make it much longer. School still has some memories that will stick with you forever, though. In history class, you're now old enough to learn about the events of the Purging, when Viltrumites culled the weak from their population to ensure only the strongest survived. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, before they set off to conquer the stars, Viltrum was rocked by a horrific civil war. This war began when Viltrumites that valued strength.
So, like, they genocided their own people? Like, or like the weak ones? They, like, you know, got rid of all the weak people? I feel like that's kind of crazy. We didn't do that as black people. I'm starting to think these aren't good people.
And believed in their natural superiority, got together and decided to kill all the weak members of the species. Anyone who opposed them or were deemed unfit were executed in a global bloodbath called the Purging. Years later, the planet lay in ruins and half the population had died, but at least the weak had been eliminated. From that point on, Viltrumites adopted a brutal doctrine of eugenics, meaning only the strong were allowed to survive on Viltrum. Viltrum was rebuilt by its superhuman population. A planet targeted for assimilation would be offered a chance to willingly join the Empire in patronage. Those that refused were destroyed by an army of flying supermen. It's a tough lesson to swallow as a kid, but it's important to your survival that you understand. You may no longer be a baby, but it's never too late to abort you. Now at 10 years old, your training escalates. You're sent on your first observation mission to a freshly conquered planet. As you fly down, the air is thick with the scent of burning rubble, and the skies are black with smoke.
So they also colonize planets. I don't know. This might not be a metaphor for black people. I don't think I claim these people anymore. I don't know what group of people they could be. But
villages burn and cities
lie in
ruins. You follow your squad leader, a towering figure named General Koraf, as he surveys the aftermath of the conquest. He sets your squad down by the captured rebels kneeling in chains, with their heads bowing in defeat. Koraf points at the prisoners. Decide their fate, he says, with a voice devoid of any emotion. Whoa, what? Why does this have to be on you? Your heart pounds as you look at their terrified faces, but you know all too well that hesitation is dangerous and a form of weakness. With trembling hands, you point to the execution squad. Koraf nods, and the prisoners are no more. That night, for the first time and the last time in your life, you lie awake, haunted by the memory. Don't get used to it, though.
You don't witness death at the age of 5, you know? You hit 5 years old, you're witnessing death. Can't be good for your mental health. These are sociopaths, obviously. This is a good thing, you know? Actually, yeah, I feel strongly against that these are black people now. I'm very disappointed. Why the freak are my people being compared to Viltrumites in Japan? You know, what's going on there? I feel like that's a little bit crazy. You know, like, is it Japan that's calling us that? Nah, I think they kind of like think they go, it's like Super Saiyans or something, and then like us over here in America was like they see us as if we're like Viltrumite or something. But this is crazy. This is an insane life. What do they eat? What y'all think they be eating over there? Green bean casserole, peanut stew. What y'all think they be eating on planet Viltrum, bro?
Because we don't do guilt here. At 15, you're
Facts.
given your first solo mission,
Hard,
leading
buddy.
a squad to raid a rebel outpost. It's a relatively small operation, but it's a test of your leadership capabilities. And you better be able to pull this off, because you remember what happens to failures. It's on a nearby planet, and you get there the same way anyone else on Viltrum gets across the galaxy.
You
You don't
fly.
need rockets or teleporters. Viltrumites can fly through space and hold their breath for several weeks. They also move at
Crazy.
incredible speeds, so hopping in a spacecraft would just
On our long ass.
be inefficient. Your team descends on the outpost, but things go wrong almost immediately. The rebels are better armed than expected, and the simple skirmish devolves into chaos. You manage to turn things around and complete the mission by destroying the outpost, but not without a cost. Several of your squad mates are killed, with their bodies left behind as you retreat. When you
Rest in
return to
peace.
Viltrum, the
They
loss
dead
of
way
life
anyway.
is glossed over. A victory is a victory, your instructor
On
says,
me.
patting you on the back. What a wholesome life lesson. At 16, the accumulation of everything you've ever trained for arrives. The Viltrumite trials. Without exaggeration, it's the biggest event of your life. These aren't ceremonial rites or symbolic tests. They're brutal challenges designed to weed anyone out who doesn't embody the Empire's ideals, and anyone who is deemed weak. Failing here doesn't just mean humiliation. It means death. This is your last
Suck.
chance to prove you deserve to survive.
If
The
that
trials
way,
begin on a
you get
distant
cut
moon.
off the
gravity is
squad.
3 times the strength of Viltrum's. You and 30 other
You're not a Viltrumite. You're immortal, nigga. You a regular ass dude, boy, just like me. Go to Earth. Hey, wouldn't that be crazy, bro? Just get exiled to Earth because you weak, man.
candidates are dropped there with nothing but the clothes on your backs. The goal is simple: survive for a week while completing a series of grueling challenges. But just surviving isn't enough.
They
You
holding their
have
breath
to
the whole
design.
time,
The
ain't
first
they?
task is a race across the moon's rocky surface. The terrain is jagged and unstable, and every step sends sharp, painful vibrations through your legs. You feel the gravity's pull with every movement, and after just a few minutes, your muscles scream for relief. But there is no relief. Falling behind isn't an option. Those who do are left for dead. Their bodies claimed by the unforgiving.
This might be crazy, like a crazy thought, a crazy inclination, but I actually feel like I could do this. Like, I don't know. I feel like I could do this though. Like, I don't think it's that hard for real. Like, the people that died, I really think they're Earthlings, bruh. They're not really Viltrumite for real. They're not really from this planet.
Landscape. As
They're
you cross
Martians
the
or
ridge,
something.
You see the next challenge: a combat arena carved into the ground. The instructors announce that the top 20 finishers will advance to the next round. You make it in time, but barely. You turn to face your first opponent, Laro. Who's
Shaud,
admittedly
man.
a lot bigger than he was back in the Toddler Fight Club. He's taller, broader, and has a reputation of cruelty. You dodge his first swing and
Sounds like me.
counter with a blow to the temple, dropping him immediately. The fight is over in seconds. The instructors nod approvingly, but their expressions remain cold. There's no praise here, just acknowledgement that you've done what's expected. But a third day, only 12 candidates remain. The trials shift focus to teamwork. An ironic twist, given the Viltrumites' emphasis on individual strength. You're paired with 2 others: Corvin, a quiet but fiercely skilled fighter, and Vetra, an impulsive recruit with a talent for improvisation. Your task is to infiltrate a simulated rebel stronghold and eliminate its defenders. The simulation is anything but simple. The quote-unquote defenders are seasoned Viltrumite soldiers tasked with stopping you at any cost. As you approach the stronghold, Vetra rushes ahead, ignoring your orders.
So, what if, like, your kid fails this junk? Like, wouldn't you, like, be like, wouldn't your genes be, like, in question? Like, why do you keep birthing out? Or, like, let's say, like, you had, like, multiple kids and they all, like, fail. Or, like, they don't do a good job on this, like, final test. Do you think they, like, think to themselves, why are you birthing such, doggy trash children? You know what I'm saying? Why can't none of them get past all the tests that we put forth in front of them? I feel like, if this was my race and I was the leader of it, bruh, If your genes is weak, nigga, you might gotta die, bruh. You might get genocided for it.
She's caught in an ambush, and Corvin pulls her back just in time. The three of you regroup and devise a new strategy. You take the lead, coordinate an assault that outmaneuvers your defenders. It's messy and chaotic, but it works. By the end of the exercise, you've secured the stronghold and eliminated the targets. Back at the trial grounds, the instructors debrief your group. They commend your leadership, but criticize Vetra's impulsiveness. A team is only as strong as its weakest link, one of them says, fixing her with a steely gaze.
So, like, if you give him birth to weak links, bro, you're cut. Bro, you're done. You know what I'm saying? I really feel like that it makes logical sense for that to be the case. You know?
Vetra's jaw tightens, but she doesn't respond. The lesson is clear. Even teamwork on Viltrum is a tool, not a virtue. The last test is the most brutal of all. A free-for-all, where only the strongest will emerge victorious. The instructors release you into a sprawling battlefield, a maze of cliffs, caves, and treacherous terrain. There is one objective. Be the last one standing. The first few hours are chaos. Alliances form and dissolve in minutes, as candidates betray one another for the chance to survive. You stay on the move, avoiding direct confrontations, while picking off weaker opponents. By the third day, only 4 of you remain. You, Corvin, a candidate named Tarek, and a brutal fighter known simply as the Beast. Tarek and the Beast form an uneasy alliance.
That's me right
forcing
here.
you and Corvin to do the same. The 4 of you clash in a brutal skirmish, every blow shaking the ground beneath your feet. Tarek is the first to fall, his chest caving under Corvin's relentless assault. The Beast turns on you, his fists like hammers. You manage to outmaneuver him, landing a blow to his throat that sends him staggering. Corvin seizes the opportunity and finishes him off.
What?
Now it's just you and...
That's not me, actually. I haven't shown up yet.
Corvin. For a moment, you hesitate. The 2 of you have fought side by side, saved each other's lives, and forged a bond in the heat of battle. But bond means nothing here. With a swift, decisive strike, you knock him unconscious. The instructors declare you the victor. When the trials are over, you're one of the only 3 candidates who survive. You're bloodied, exhausted, and battered, but you've proven your worth. The instructors present you with the insignia of a Viltrumite warrior, a simple emblem that carries the weight of everything you've endured. Regret this. One of them says, their tone as cold as ever. Don't make us regret it. By your mid-20s, war has become second nature. Every day feels like a repetition of the last. Descend upon a planet, crush its defenses, pacify its population, and move on to the next. The galaxy is vast, and the Viltrumite...
But for what, though? Why are we going to war so much? Why are we, like... fighting for? Why are we so violent? I gotta know what that's for. Like, you just want to take over the whole galaxy or something? For what? Do they live on are they inhabiting these planets after they're done, like, pillaging them all? Like, I wonder what do they do with that? Like I said, I don't watch Invincible. I don't know nothing about this show for real. But, like, I feel like this is purposeless, This is a vain endeavor,
demands total dominance.
There can't be any reason for this.
You barely have time to process one battle before you're thrust into another. You also now have a mustache, and so does every other Viltrumite man. It's legally required by the government that all men have a mustache, kind of like Australia. By your 40s, the cracks in the Empire's facade become harder to ignore. The conquests continue, but the resistance grows fiercer. Rebellions that once took days to crush now drag on for months. You stopped aging years ago. The older you become, the more powerful you grow, and the slower you age. You can live for thousands of years.
That's
in your
crazy.
50s, you return home from that week's conquest after receiving word that your father has died. The official report says he passed during a training exercise, but whispers suggest something darker, an act of defiance punished by the Empire. At his funeral, they didn't mention anything about his personal life, only the things he did to serve the Empire.
This seems to be getting very specific to, like, a certain character or person. I don't feel like this is everyone's life, that their father just dies, and it was probably coordinated. Let's keep it broad, man,
They just relive his glory days as a military leader. The doubts that have plagued you for years resurface. Was he truly a loyal servant of the Empire? Or did he question the path laid out for him? Shortly after your father's funeral, you were summoned...
Anyways, I feel like this is getting too niche to a specific person, according to, like, the rest of this stuff. You know, at first I thought it sounded like black people. Like, you know, this is the black, like, experience. Almost, kinda. And then, you know, I realized they're colonizers and they're starting to sound like a different group of people in world history, you know? But, shoot, who knows, man? Sounds to me like they're just Viltrumites. You know? Not black or any other, you know, group of people. Just Viltrumites. A fictional race of people who are out of their mind, and I don't want no big bushy mustache like that anyways. I hope you enjoyed this video, man. I enjoyed making this video, and if you don't mind hitting that like button, cousin, family. Let's change scenes real quick. I'm so good used to all that jump, man. If you don't mind hitting that like button, that subscribe button, I'll catch you on the next video. Peace out, Girly Scout.